Curfew for those under 18 begins tonight. Under the curfew, kids need to be within 100 yards of their homes between 11 p.m. and 5:30 a.m. Violators will receive a warning and an escort home the first time. For a second violation, kids will be taken to a youth crisis facility and have to be picked up by a parent or guardian. Further incidents will be reported to the State Department of Children and Families.
How do you feel about, well, New Jersey just passed a law basically stating that kids who are under 18 can't be outside past 10 p.m.
Just because all the violence that happens in our community, I'm supporting that our babies have curfews for 10 p.m. just to keep them safe.
How much of an impact do parents have to play in this?
Parents have to play a big impact in this. If they're not enforcing the...
How do you feel about the curfew that has now been set for 18-year-olds and under?
Well, I thought it was canceled. I spoke at the city council against that. The issue is, again, you know, how can you distinguish who's an emancipated youth? You know what I'm saying? What are the laws in respect to having to even answer any questions from law enforcement? You know, and then also the body cameras, how are they used? Because if there's any interactions with the youth and the body cameras aren't on or not working, that's also problematic. So, you know what I'm saying? Having full transparency, having access to all this information, as well as, I wish there would have just been
A lot of people told me that, like, they feel like it allows for kids to be targeted by police more.
Well, again, it's also about where you're doing these. So is it predominantly in black and brown areas? Or again, like I said, are you going to the train stations? Are the young affluent kids who are coming from New York City at 11 and 12 o'clock at night, will they be accosted? You know what I'm saying? Things like that.
There's been a law that's passed down in Newark that basically if you're under the age of 18, there's a 10 o'clock curfew. How do you feel about that?
That is news to me. You telling me was the first time I heard about it, but I think it's just an attack on somebody. Like, it seems like they're trying to get something out of the youth that they can't control them, and so that's their way of trying to control them. But it brings up a lot of questions, and like we were talking right before filming about how it leaves a lot of room for interpretation. It's really not black and white about what they're trying to do and what even happens if somebody is out past 10 o'clock. Like, is this gonna ruin their future? Are they gonna be able to still go to school? Like, are they gonna still be able to do whatever they want? Like, what is the point of 10 o'clock being the curfew?
So I believe you heard the officers say that they were getting rid of the reforming part and giving like the youth more chances, but
yes.
in turn they pushing more down on the punitive part. Do you actually agree with that?
I think within the justice system that they are taking away the reforming part, but I think that there was never even a focus on
reforming
the rehabilitation part of like what happens when you come out of any type of situation being within the law, whether you were in jail for a long time or whether you had to go through the courts. The courts is just as bad sometimes as like being in jail. Of course, like, you're away from everybody when you're in jail, but it's just the court. It brings so much media as well, and all the tension and stress, and there was never a focus on rehabilitation in the first part, so taking away the reform.
Wrestle him. So the foresight that goes into this, I don't think they thought about it fully, and I think they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out how they're going to actually enforce this measure without messing with our liberties. They did not consult the community. I'm a community leader. I know for sure they didn't. This is why they redacted it. Last night, it was supposed to enact last night, but it didn't because there's so many holes in it. We could thank the young man Brock. Who went to the city council meeting and exposed the loopholes in that. Oh my gosh, he did a magnificent job.
You know, it just was a little flaws in the foresight. You got to have foresight. You know, you got to think about stuff that may happen, and so you have to prepare for that. As fathers, we know that.
Absolutely.